joined by Councilmember Mitch Englander and Councilmember Price. Is he here? I thought I saw him walk in. He is here, right? No, I thought I saw him. Oh, he's behind me. Okay, there you are. Okay. Councilmember Price. All right, so we'll get this meeting started as soon as I get my public speaking cards. And we'll go through the multiple agenda item comment cards. Before we get to that, I want to read the new committee rules. We've instructed our city clerk to prepare written written rules and have them in the room, but for now I'll read them. New council rules state that members of the public wishing to speak on one agenda item shall have an opportunity to speak for 1 minute when or before that item is considered. Members of the public wishing to speak on more than one item shall present all comments addressing those items during the multiple agenda item comment segment at the beginning of the meeting. These speakers shall be allowed to speak for up to 1 minute per item, up to a total of 2 minutes per meeting. This comment period serves as the only opportunity for members of the public who wish to comment on more than one item to speak during the meeting, other than during general public comment. Once the multiple agenda item comment segment has been closed by the chair of the committee, no additional speaker cards for multiple items need to be accepted. During general public comment, which is a separate segment from the multiple agenda item comment segment, speakers get 1 minute to speak on non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. All right, so we're ready to roll. We'll start off with the multiple item agenda. These are for speakers who wish to speak on more than one item, and they have 2 minutes. First speaker up is Mickey Jackson, then Mr. Bully.
Good afternoon. I feel I just saw you all. I wanted to speak about a couple of things. Items 2 and 3, although, Mr. Huizar, you and I often disagree about things, we agree about some things. And I am glad that you're asking for more detailed records, and I am glad that you are asking for people to keep track of RSO units. I think they're very, very important. If I'm not interrupting you. And the other thing I wanted to speak on is the small lot, item 6. It has a zone change, and small lot was supposed to be designed not to have a zone change in it. So I really think we should be thinking hard about that. And hard about what we lose when we don't follow our rules. We stretch a little, and pretty soon the rule doesn't even exist, and it's so stretched out of shape nobody even can remember what it was. So I do hope we'll pay a lot of attention to RSO units. The loss of some of those was a subject in today's city council. And the process by which we do everything is very important. And today we had an item called special because there was a problem with the process here a week ago. So I hope we will stick to the process very carefully, and I hope that we will begin to really treasure our RSO units. Conservatively, we lost about 22,000 of them in 10 years at a little less than 3 per person. That's about 60,000 people who've lost their homes and could explain some homelessness.
Thank you. Mr. Bully. 2 minutes, please.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, this is now, we only get 120 fucking seconds to talk on all the items. Why? Because of mere puppets. Discrimination against puppets is racist. So now we get to number 2, amazing. I have to say thank you for this motion. This is a good idea. Very, very good. Now we get to the bad part. CD9 with 2 large overdevelopment projects. Yes, too big to fail. It will fail. It's too big. No, but the problem is, if they can pass that, they will. So there's nothing the public can do. So everybody here who opposes the 2 projects in CD number 9, you are now dismissed and you may go home now. Thank you. Now we get over to the Mickey Mouse, and I will try to do my best Mickey Mouse impression on number 11. 4406 West Kingswell Avenue. I attended that Cultural Heritage Commission, and there was one commissioner, he's big, he's a goddamn anti-mouse, and he voted no, but we all voted yes, so please support Robert Disney House. Please include the Charlotte and Robert Disney House as a protected cultural monument, and please don't fuck with that house. Please save it. Ha! That's very good. So then we get to number 10, the La Vita Terrace. Yes, protect. Yes. And number 9, protect the South Hayward property. This is a very, very important cultural monument because it's in CD5, and we always love to put houses in CD5 against Paul Koretz's bulldozers. Paul Koretz has become a preservationist, but after
your time is up, sir. Thank you.
My clock still have time.
Your time is up. Thank you.
My clock.
Herman?
I have the time for the clock.
Sir, your time is up. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Herman?
Vote for Trump. Thank you.
Another puppet's coming to speak before the development of Weezer's Broadway Fiesta. As you all know, yes, I am very proud to see rent stabilization. It keeps poor Mexicans living in downtown, not like the gentrification you read about from Boyle Heights, you stupid schmucks. Anyways, now as I look at items under current price, there are 2 items. And although I have to change my language to a little bilingual, I am not from the United States. I was born in the country hillsides of Mexico, not Zacatecas with the rest of the wetbacks, but in the northern states where the trees flourish. Now, on number 9, fuck number 9, because that's current price. He knows what about development. He was all over the news in the council chambers when people were saying, we do not want your project's development, you son of a... Yeah. Anyways, Herman, take over for the puppet. I'm tired of this shit.
All right. So, as you see now, as we go into Peppa Pig's territory in item 7, regarding the Mansonization, why in the hell are we going to have Mansonization when we don't have enough affordable housing? Why would you conduct business on behalf of public interest in that manner? You have more veterans living on the street. You have more veterans living on sidewalks and curbs like Mr. Dawson's ghetto area, but nobody cares. That's why Dawson should sit down and take criticism 54954.3, Action C.
Mr. Herman,
going back on topic.
speak on the items, please.
So, in relevant discussion under item 8, talking about the Mickey Mouse house. Oh, we all know that. It's fun. We have to support the heritage to keep Mickey Mouse and the rats all in their homes in order so that Dr. B and the bully can live in LA. Thank you. I support.
Okay, we will go to item 1. We've now been joined by Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson. Item number 1 we will receive and file. It is the Director's Report from the Planning Department. And if you could read items 2 and 3.
Sure.
The record, please.
Sure.
Take
Councilman.
those together.
Sure. Item 2, Councilman, is a motion, Weezer O'Farrell. It's directing the Planning Department to include a statement in its department reports whenever there's a impact on RSO units in the city and how that impacts the city's inventory. Number 3 is a motion, again, by yourself and council members O'Farrell and Fuentes. It's instructing city attorney and the housing department and the planning department to prepare an ordinance that would eliminate any loopholes in the municipal code whenever there is a conversion, a subdivision or a conversion of RSO units to condominiums, and instead of developing them into condominiums, they're developed into an entirely different use.
Great, thank you. And colleagues, with your support, we will refer these items to staff with a report back and or an ordinance. These items came up in light of some discussions we've had in this committee. The first one deals with the idea that we want to make sure that any item that comes before Plum or before the council with respect to entitlements on a property, that everything has been conducted according to the requirements of the Alice Act, that if there is any requirements, for example, of payment of relocation fees to the tenants, that that has all been abided by. We are concerned that we get some cases here where we are, at our discretion, approving entitlements and where, in fact, they may or may have not complied with the Alice Act. We just want to make sure that anything we do here has been, the Alice Act has been complied with. The second item is with respect to a possibility in one case that we saw that a property was asked to be converted away from the rent control. They waited the statutory requirement or ordinance requirement of 5 years and then converted them back to market rate housing. We want to know how much of a problem that is, and in fact, we could close that loophole if it's necessary to close that loophole. So we're just going to get some report backs and or an ordinance on that.
So, Councilman, since these are land use legislative actions, you may wish to adopt both motions.
We'll adopt them and refer to staff with report backs, and we'll work out with staff the timing on the report backs. Okay. Maybe 30 days, 60 days, in that range. Okay. Any objection or comments on that?
So for clarification, this is, you're holding this in committee for the report backs?
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, so ordered. Items, item number 5. Oh, well, let's go through the consent calendar. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We do have a card on item number 3. Chris Robertson? Sorry about that. Yes, sir.
Oh, I must be the second card, number 1. Jeez, my name is Chris, too.
Your name is Chris, too? Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, council members. Chris Robertson, Planning Director for Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell. As you know, a recent case within our district gave impetus to these motions. When it comes to reviewing development applications, addressing displacement issues is paramount. While relocation assistance is required in most cases, there's an exemption to this requirement in limited circumstances. In the midst of a housing and homeless crisis, we need to ensure that tenants are protected and close any loopholes that may permit developers to circumvent requirements to give tenants the protections that they are entitled to. Furthermore, the Planning Department needs to include a discussion and analysis of a project's impact to our RSO housing stock so that the city has a comprehensive understanding of the scope and impact of its actions. These motions that the council member co-introduced and seconded with Councilmember Huizar is a first step to taking a closer look at how we can further protect our residents from displacement. We thank the chair for working with us on this issue and bringing this to committee so quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. Say we'll adopt items 2 and 3 without objection. For them to staff, thank you. We'll go back and reopen item number 1, the report from the Director of Planning. We did have a public comment card. Ola? Welcome, sir.
Thank you very kindly. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you as a public comment, First Amendment right to speak. I recognize that we take that for granted, but depending on who wins this election, supposedly, we can't take it for granted much longer.
Sir, this is, you have to speak on the agenda item for which you signed up, and this is the Planning Director's report to this committee. Okay,
correct.
Thank you.
I was giving you the formalities, and I appreciate the opportunity. We take it for granted, I said. I also appreciate the council giving us the opportunity. I also appreciate the citizens who are here, because that's the backbone of any civilized democracy, is the citizens. If they participate, it keeps the politicians on their toes, because generally speaking, politicians are self-interest like everybody else. And so therefore, the constituents keep them on their toes. And I also want to congratulate you for your election. I was impressed that you were able to beat Molina as a supervisor, even though you had great difference between the two of you. You worked it out. But my concern now is that we don't allow Planned Parenthood to encroach into our community with their jargon.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up, sir.
That was on the item number 1. My second one is public comment.
Okay, we haven't gone to public comment yet. We'll
But
get there.
the clerk told me how the process works is that you do 1 minute on item number 1, and then you do 1 minute on public comment when you're up at the podium. She said that was your normal policy unless you change it, Chairman.
Okay. We only have one card for you on item 1.
I have 2 cards.
That's all I got.
Public comment card, too.
Councilmember, are you taking general public comment at the end of the meeting?
Pardon me? Yeah.
We appreciate it. That's why I
Okay,
said
well, let's take you up now. You have another
in the
minute.
beginning, I appreciate the opportunity because you could have used your authority and your discretion to shut me down. It happened once before.
Okay, go right ahead, sir. You have
So
a minute.
my second
Yeah.
thing is I appreciate the opportunity to share with the community that we had a big thing on Sunday, Black Lives Matter, but we changed it to Baby Lives Matter. We talk about late-term babies, 6 months to 9 months. We're asking that you consider at some point the opportunity to restrict the late-term abortions. Even though most Democrats agree to it, we think that you can restrict it to where the fathers and the husbands have an opportunity to take control of the baby after 6 months.
Sure.
Because it's
This committee is on land use and planning,
understand,
anything to
but
do
you
with
said
land
public
use and
comment.
planning. Okay.
You said any item on public
No,
comment.
a public comment with respect to any item on land use and planning matters before
Well,
the
that's what
city.
it is. It's on land use of allowing parenthood
Okay.
to use our
There you go.
buildings
Hey.
in minority communities. Okay? You
That's
have
correct.
To be open. I don't
Yeah.
know whether you're naturalized citizens or not. You say you were born in Mexico, but hopefully you're naturalized citizens. You agree with us that we pay taxes and we support everyone services who don't pay property taxes. And so I pay $100,000 in property tax. So I want to speak that baby lives matter now. We can no longer look the other way when we watch YouTube and see they pull a baby head out and they kill it. It's murder. It's murder.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
There's another card with respect to multiple agenda items. Sylvie Shane. We'll get that straight one of these days, or maybe we'll never get it straight with this new system. But welcome.
Thank you. Sylvie Shane. I was the appellant on 1850 Cherokee that led to the 2 motions before you, items 2 and 3, and I wanted to commend this committee and Mr. Chair, your leadership role in introducing these motions. They are very important. I look forward to being a part of the process as I have skin in it, so to say, and hopefully we can craft some important policies, especially with respect to identifying and quantifying the loss of rent-stabilized housing. As we were earlier in City Council, we dealt with another project, and right now it seems that the city is not doing what it needs to do under CEQA with regards to identifying and mitigating these losses. And so I hope that between this motion that's before us, there's an opportunity to address what may be a failure in city planning right now to do that under CEQA guidelines. So I look forward to being a part of that. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. These are report backs, so when they come back, we'll have a further discussion, longer discussion on those items. Thank you. Item number 6, we'll approve on consent without objection. There's no public comment card. Item number 7, we have 1 public speaker. We'll approve that on consent. They're waiving their right on that. Item number 7, approve on consent. Item number 8, we'll approve on consent. Item number 9, we'll approve on consent with no objection. These are all HCM nominations for various properties. Item number 10, We have some speakers on this, okay? So we'll take up, well, let's do this. On item 11, we'll approve on consent with no objection, and we'll now take up item number 10. If you could read that into the record, please.
Sure. Item 10, Councilman, this is a report from the Cultural Heritage Commission relative to the inclusion of Tom of Finland House in CD 13 as a historic cultural monument.
Is staff here to present on this item?
Yes, good afternoon, Council members. Ken Bernstein with the Office of Historic Resources. This is for the Tom of Finland House Historic Cultural Monument application. The Cultural Heritage Commission voted unanimously to declare the property for its association with the gay rights movement and gay artists. This was identified as a notable resource associated with the artistic community of the LGBT community in Los Angeles, originally identified within our Survey LA LGBT historic context statement. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. We have 3 public speaking cards and a representative from CD 13. SR Sharp, is it? Or Starp? Sharp? SR some, there you are. Dirt Deliner and Mark.
I want to thank all of you. And I also want to thank all of you for all of the visitors who come to the Tom of Finland Foundation from all over the world. Every week we schedule different guests and students, and so I'm here for their voice, and we all thank you.
Thank you. Dirt? Okay. Mark Timothy Hayward? I have no idea what you said, sir, but you sat right back down, so I take it you don't want to speak. I couldn't hear you. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
I would just like to say that Los Angeles is a very diverse city, and part of the history of Los Angeles is LGBT. And Los Angeles hasn't quite gotten it right yet, because this is the capital of LGBT in America. This is the place where people did things a long time ago and stood up and took a stand. And Dirk Daner, that guy who just didn't say anything, was one of those people and created the Tom of Finland Foundation and created a community that has blossomed and grown and become one of the most vibrant third spaces. It's not a bar. It's not a club. It's a place where artists can get together. It's a place where art happens. And it's a very special place.
Thank you. Amy?
Good afternoon, Councilman. Amy Abelcat, Planning Deputy for Councilman Mitch O'Farrell. Our office supports the inclusion of Tom of Finland House located at 1421 La Vida Terrace in the list of historical cultural monuments. The Tom of Finland House is a vital part of the cultural scene of Los Angeles, and it portrays the historic importance of an iconic pioneering artist. It reflects the broad cultural, economic, and social history of the nation, state, and community for its association with queer art in Los Angeles. The Tom of Finland House is identified with important events in national and local history, as it was the Los Angeles-based home of the internationally renowned artist Tom of Finland. The Tom of Finland Foundation is currently located in Tom House, which features an archive of works and materials by Tom of Finland and an important research collection documenting the history of gay male erotica, including the work of many artists. This collection documents important cultures and subcultures within gay male visual life over several decades in the 20th century, and as such, an important part of American cultural history. We look forward to formally designating this as an important historical resource and ask for your support. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So, any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, we'll move to approve the item as to the nomination for the Tom and Finland House property. Any objections? Seeing no objections, so ordered. Thank you. Next items, item number 4 and 5. If we could have staff give a brief presentation, please.
Do you want me to read them to the record, Councilman?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Item 4 is a general plan amendment and a zone change and a high district change. This is for the construction of 2 5-story structures. It's the new Honda LA auto dealership in CD9. And item 5 is the associated development agreement between the city and Realty Holdings LLC for a 2-year term and $150,000 in public benefits.
You're up.
Okay. Good afternoon, Charlie Roush, Planning Department staff. What you have before you is a case for downtown Honda, which lost their lease on commercial properties along Figueroa Street in downtown Los Angeles. They found a location across from the Coliseum, which is a commercially zoned lot. It's currently a large parking lot with a derelict building on it. Two of the properties on it are residentially planned and zoned, and those need to be a plan amendment to the commercial zone so that they could build their entire building. Basically, they're building 2 buildings on each side of forget the street that comes in, Hoover Street. One which will include their sales area, which would be 152,477 square foot building, 68 feet tall. And the other one is a 5-story, 105,000 square foot building, which will be used for storing their vehicles that are to be sold. It went through with absolutely no opposition. There was a development agreement for 3 years, $150,000. It was included in it, which would go to basically job training program with Trade Tech College and $50,000 to help establish a BID in the area. And there was a letter on the file, which you have before you, which proposed some technical and non-substantive changes in the development agreement.
Excellent. Thank you. Go to public comment, or do you want to speak before public comment, Mr. Price? Okay, public comment. We have an applicant rep and the applicant, Edward Kalatian, and Joe Schuster.
Thank you. Edward Kalatian with Mayor Brown here on behalf of the applicant. I'd like to thank Councilman Price and his staff and the Planning Department staff for continuing to work with Honda. We are very excited about moving into a larger facility with the ability to sell more cars, generate more tax revenue to the city, and create more jobs in a part of the city that is in dire need of jobs. As Mr. Roush correctly pointed out, the development agreement has a community benefits package that includes $100,000 in scholarships for CD9 residents to attend LA Trade Tech College. In addition, there's a $50,000 community benefit to form a bid in the area. And in addition, we are, as part of the process, and it's going through a separate process, acquiring an adjacent property from the city that will include an obligation to create at least 50 new living wage paying jobs for local residents. As Mr. Rash pointed out, we've submitted a letter that is in front of you and part of the record to update the Exhibit A that is included with the City Planning Commission approval and make some non-substantive changes to the development agreement, including updating the address and correcting some references. The changes include extending the term of the development agreement from 2 years to 5 years. Unless deference to time, we have some supporters here and the applicant, but we can hold those speakers unless you'd like to hear from them. Thank you.
Thank you. Tristan Solomon, Livy Vega, Gladys McGilver.
So if you'd like them to speak there, but not witness.
That's fine. If they don't wish to speak, that's fine. Want to waive that? Mr. Price.
Members, this is an exciting project being proposed on 2 parking lots on Martin Luther King Boulevard. And if you haven't heard, Auto Row is moving south. Okay, I guess you have heard. Okay. So- Some of you may be familiar with the current downtown Honda site on the corner of Figueroa and Venice. During the height of the recession, downtown Honda had declared bankruptcy and was on the verge of permanently closing. This means that many hardworking employees were on the verge of losing their jobs, and the city would be losing out on millions and millions in revenue. Thankfully, a man with a can-do attitude stepped up to the plate and brought the dealership back to life. Thanks to Mr. Joe Schuster, who's with us here, and his team, Downtown Honda is now one of the top 50 performing dealerships in the nation, moving hundreds of cars off its lot every month and millions of dollars of revenue back into city coffers. And today, due to increased demand, Honda has outgrown its current locations and needs to expand. This means more revenue for the city and, more importantly, for my constituency, more job opportunities. My office has been working closely with Downtown Honda over the course of the past 2 years to fine-tune the specifics of this project, which also includes, as you've heard, $150,000 in community benefits, $100,000 in scholarships funding for CD9 students who will take advantage of employment opportunities at the dealership, and $50,000 for the creation of a business improvement district on Big and MLK. And there are going to be 2 murals that are going to be created, again, with the input of local community members. So I also requested that trash receptacles be placed along the public right-of-way as a condition of approval, or in the alternative as a part of the development agreement, as they are regular conditions I'm requesting of all developments. These benefits are significant because they will help to provide meaningful career opportunities for our local residents as the dealership continues to grow. I must also report that through the various hearings, including outreach to the local neighborhood council and block club meetings, the project has received wide community support, Mr. Chairman, and no opposition. I applaud Downtown Honda and Mr. Schuster for their willingness to be a partner as he invests in our community and to provide meaningful opportunities for our local residents. I hope that other future developments follow your lead as they come to invest in the new Ninth. Members, I thank you for this opportunity, and I ask for your aye vote on this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions or comments on this? Nope. Seeing none, we will move to approve the development agreement. And
Councilman, so
yes,
there were a couple of technical amendments.
I was going to say, okay.
So it would be as amended, the general plan amendment and the zone change. And I believe as to the DA, you need to request the city attorney to
draft it.
prepare.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
We'll incorporate the CLA's direction as a motion by Mr. Price.
And I also think that the DA needs to reflect that it's a 5-year DA rather than a 2-year DA.
Okay, got that. We'll incorporate that in the motion as well. Any objection? Seeing none, so ordered. How are you doing? Checking on HHH? Or, all right, good. I don't know. Someone earlier said I'm not a citizen, so I got to check to see if items, I believe that leaves one more item.
No, Councilman, we're done. It's just general public comment.
General public comment. Okay, we have one public comment card. This person spoke already on the multiple. They could also speak on the public comment. That's the rules, right? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, Mr. Bully.
No, on the JJJ. And I know that Mr. Harris really wants the JJJ. But the JJJ is bad. No to the JJJ, because the JJJ is bad. No to that. Also, the Ellis Act, when it is violated, please send in the Marines. Yes, because when you get rid of people and they get rid of their houses, you know You know that violates state law, and you know more people are being thrown out of rent-controlled apartments because of things like greed, campaign donations, Englander, Cannaby, and Allen, and an overinflated stock market and an overinflated property market. So again, wake up, Mr. Dawson. Thank you.
Herman?
Well, we all know what rent stabilization can do for a community. Incidentally, though, as you see, Dr. B and I, who wishes not to speak due to the insults brought by Mr. Dawson there, who doesn't ever pay attention to any of the meetings since it's usually a faraway adventure for him. But once again,
Mr.
when it comes
Herman,
to the
can you turn
alias...
that off, please? Can you
Yes.
turn off your light, please? It's annoying up here when you put that in our eyes. You could continue to record.
You mean-
It's your right to do so, but please do it without the light. Thank you.
That light?
That's much better. Thank you very much.
So the rebuttal and argument is this. Stop sacrificing political speech to 1 minute to deny us the access to participate in any planning decision. The Ellis Act has been a great deter from development and overdevelopment. We wish to see it implemented in every project to stop the corruption, bribery, and the scandal behind all you losers, like the fifth place loser sitting up there looking at his computer. Vote no for Janice Hahn. And by the way,
Thank you. Any other items on the agenda?
No, Councilman.
That concludes this meeting. Thank you.